The second Karina challenge I opted to take with these new Necropolis challenges that released a week or so ago is actually going to be the Dimensional Beings challenge. This, I believe, is going to be like the hardest run out of all of the 5 that were released outside the Deathless one, which is the 6th that we can't really access yet. But the reason I'm doing it early is because, it's nice to get some of the harder stuff out of the way, but also because I had every single character I needed for this challenge already ranked, so I didn't need to prepare in advance for anything specifically. So that definitely was helpful. And in this challenge, we kind of just use a variety of different champs, actually. We use a lot of America Chavez, we use a lot of Future Ant-Man, and then Cosmic Ghost Rider also gets a good bit of fights. Kushala on the team. I don't really think I used her at all. She can be useful for this Odin here, but I just wanted to use Chavez because I've soloed with Chavez before, so I knew I could do it. And yeah, we're just going to be cutting through my clips here just so you can see the basics of how these fights kind of go. And Odin's the one I'm not really going to spend too much time on because it's a relatively simple fight. You just need to keep Odin at 6 buffs, and then you let him get those buffs by letting him drop his SP1 to get some of those there, and then you refresh his buffs by getting him to drop an SP2 with 2 of his Odin Force, right? So Chavez just kind of does a bunch of damage because she's juiced up by the amount of buffs Odin has, and obviously if you've played Chavez a lot, you know how hard she hits. So I did solo this fight, which is pretty nice. It's the only solo I got this run, if I remember correctly, because yeah, this is still a hard run, but if with practice, like this fight's not too bad. So we're just gonna move on pretty quickly to the Black Widow Clairvoyant fight, which is the second one, obviously. And I'm going to start this with Kushala, which it's not going to go very well for me, and I'm going to switch back to Chavez. But basically, in this fight, she's going to be placing placebos on you, and every time she nullifies a buff, she's obviously going to gain her Clairvoyance charge. The reason this becomes annoying is because once she reaches 20, she is going to gain Death Touch. Death Touch just means that if she hits you, you die. And she's also going to be completely unblockable. So normally that wouldn't be a big deal. Like an unblockable Clairvoyant is fine. Her specials aren't that annoying to deal with. However, with her having inverted controls after every special attack, it gets pretty hairy pretty fast. So I just have to manage it as well as I can. Chavez having combo extenders to where I can like chain a lot of like hits into a special attack immediately after her special attack, to where like she's not really gonna be throwing a bunch of special attacks with the invert controls active. Definitely helps a lot. But as you can see, this Claire is just spamming special ones here with Kushala, and then I just die because I mess up on one of them. And I'm not the best invert controls player. I can do a pretty good job with it, but definitely not perfect with that. So now we're just gonna try Chavez again, because this is another fight that I think I used Chavez for when I did like my initial run of this path when I did Necropolis a couple months ago. And yeah, Chavez does a good job of it because once you get inverted, you're able to like extend your combo so much through like your special chaining and stuff, to where the invert control is going to be going away oftentimes before she can drop a special with it active on you. That's not always the case, of course, as you saw there. But like right here, the invert controls fell away right at the special, and then I eat a heavy attack because I'm bad, but that's okay. We're gonna go chain into a heavy right there, and just now she's in Death Touch, so we need to be careful of that. And now we're just gonna spam the SP2, and I'm just gonna cut the clip here halfway through the fight. As you can see, we're still chilling. Yeah, we combo into the SP2 here. As you can see, once my special attack is over, we're not inverted anymore, so that's just a really nice way of not having to deal with inverted controls during her special attacks, because that's usually how this fight goes bad, is if she starts throwing a bunch of specials with the inverted controls active and you slip up, especially with her SP1, when that's unblockable, because it is a projectile rather than her SP2. So, Necropolis charges have gone down 50%, so We are in the phase where we're going to be rooted, and she's just going to be hitting a lot harder, which is obviously annoying, but it's okay. We can still dex the special one really easily. It's the SP2 that's going to become a problem during the roots, because if she drops the SP2 during the roots, it's not something I really want to try and dex, because that's so many hits all thrown at once. Now, obviously, not obviously, but I've dexed Squirrel Girl's SP2 in the root before, so with 60 FPS, anything is possible, but I still don't want to, like, try it, especially when it could just kill me if I mess up. And we can still block it, right? It's not unblockable unless she's in her death touch phase or the Necropolis charges have expired. So, at this point, I'm about to die soon, and it's because she went unblockable and death touch mid-special, and I wasn't ready for it. What happened was I had the buff immunity active on me, and then the placebos from the timer triggered. That went from 17 to 20 on her clairvoyance charges, so she triggered death touch. So that was pretty tragic, but it's whatever, I guess. So I revive. As you can see, we're like 245 hits into the fight, so the next revive went pretty chill. And then that's going to be like the last of like the simpler fights, if I do say so, because now is when the challenge starts to get really hard, I think. Starting with Shang-Chi. So yeah, Claire is down, and now we have Shang-Chi. I hate this fight. This is actually my least favorite fight of the 7. I cannot stand this guy. I genuinely hate this fight, but it's whatever. We gotta get through it, right? So we're gonna be using like everyone on the team except for future Ant-Man for this idiot, and the goal is to trigger his Wushu strikes by doing the fight as if you were Shang-Chi, because if you do a double medium, you trigger his slow strike. If you do a 3-hit combo, you trigger his cleansing strike. 4-hit combo, unblockable. 5-hit combo, the stun. And the stun is bad, obviously. We don't ever want to trigger that if we can help it until the third phase of the fight, where we're actually going to have to. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Here, I'm just trying to get to an SP3 with CGR, get the Fury up, and hopefully do a bit more damage. There, I think I meant to dash back instead of doing a double medium, so that's annoying. And I'm just like really frazzled with inverted controls in this fight. I'm not doing a great job of managing them, but it's okay. We've got a lot to learn in this fight, and speaking of learning, I learned here, don't ever do the 5-hit combo with Shoe Strike again until the final phase, when we're actually going to have to, and the fight switches up a bit. So I dropped the SP2 with the precision, the cruelty, the fury, so it's going to do a bunch of damage. The combo after does a bunch of damage. Like, CGR just does this kind of thing once you drop the SP3 into SP2 and all that jazz. But here, I think I'm going to trigger his Wushu Strike. I should have done the double medium one for the slow, because the power gain one's, the cleanse one's a bit more annoying. And I'm just doing a bunch of weird stuff, because my brain is just fried from inverted controls. I'm just getting beat up, like, so much. And then he drops his SP1. I don't have any Wushu Strikes, Chi charges on him, so we die. You can't let him drop an SP1 or an SP2, I believe, with no Chi charges, or else you're going to lose 15% of your health. So, the SP1 is going to consume one of his Chi charges, and then the SP2, as it always does, consumes all of them. So, just be aware of that when you're baiting his special attacks. I'm going to go in with Shothra now, just to see if we can do anything. Shothra is not very good for this challenge, so we're not really using her a lot. I just figured I'd throw her in here to see if there was going to be any success. Shothra is not a very good long fight damage character, so it just makes her a lot harder to use here. And then I'm going to go for a heavy into the SP2. We do have all of our wasps active, all of our vulnerabilities active, so it still does do decent damage, right? But again, it's not looking great in comparison to a lot of other champs who are designed to take long fights. That's just not what Shothra is supposed to do. And then I get combo chained right there, so that's pretty awesome. And then I trigger one of his strikes. And now I need to do a 3-hit combo. or I don't. I think I'm just like losing my mind with inverted controls, right? Like I should have finished my combo there and I dashed back instead because being an accident. And now I'm gonna do the 3-hit combo. I need to charge a heavy attack to get the strikes back active. But I'm just inverted and I'm just not feeling safe about it. But I dropped my SP2 here after changing it into a heavy attack, so we are able to reset the strikes. Trigger the unblockable there. An interesting thing about Shang-Chi actually is that his unblockable and his stun and slow, all that stuff, they have a flat duration, so you can't reduce the duration of them via limber for the stun or via atrophy for the unblockable. So that's, you know, annoying if you're playing Shothra, otherwise it doesn't really matter. But we're going to revive with Chavez. I'm just going to do as much as I can and kind of use the whole thing with Chavez where, again, once you are inflicted with inverted controls, usually you can combo them before they have the chance to throw another special attack with the inverted controls active. So I still do need to be aware that I have to drop a bunch of Wushu strikes still, which is annoying because I don't want to be using my second medium, right? Because Chavez always wants to finish her combos with her heavies. But it is what it is. We just have to continue along with the flow of the fight. And then, again, every time he's going to drop an SP2, he's going to lose all of his charges, and that just kind of sucks, but it's whatever. We're in the second phase of the fight. If I'm being entirely honest with you, I don't remember what the difference is. So I'm actually going to pause and look here. And it actually is that if you do a Wushu strike that is unreadied, so if I do the double medium and then a double medium again before activating it again, then I'm going to lose health as well, which Chavez doesn't care about because we're finishing combos in heavies, right? But it's annoying for other characters, I suppose. So Chavez is doing a pretty good job. She's taken off a lot more health than I did with CGR or Shothra. And then this fight's gonna go pretty smoothly for a while. Eventually it's gonna come to an end because I'm just not good at this fight, and again, it's my least favorite fight in this entire run. I find it really annoying. With even like a great champ for this fight. Like if I'm using Aegon, I still find it annoying. But whatever, we gotta go through it, right? So at least this is the only other challenge where I have to go to the right side of Necropolis because I have gods and I have the full run, which I'm going to do on the left side, and I have mutants left, and those are all going to be on the left side, so I never have to fight this idiot again, which is pretty great. So he's at 47% now. I accidentally do the 5-hit combo, and now I'm at an SP3. It's whatever. We get a little bit back with adrenaline, I guess. Except he throws an SP2, and I'm rooted, and I can't really dex that, so we die. Here, cut to a clip where I'm using CGR. Drop the SP3 here, gain the big fury and whatever. And then I eat a heavy attack. That's okay. Heavy attack here. And now I want to go for the light ending combo. And then a heavy attack, and then a double medium. Oh, I'm just gonna 4-hit. That works as well. And yeah, the SP2 does crazy damage, of course. I want to do a heavy attack there for some reason. I don't really know why. I guess I wanted to get the aptitude ready for my next SP2. But I dexed anyway, so it didn't really matter. Here, I'm actually trying to figure out what judgment I even have left, because I knew there was one I still hadn't triggered, but I didn't remember which one it was, and I just got hit, which also triggered it, so there's that, I guess. Anyway, now I'm gonna go for the light ending combo, get the power gain, drop another SP3, and we are actually getting close to the final phase. That SP3 did some pretty nice damage. Trying to bait the SP2, I actually didn't dex, but I might have triggered the dex judgment already. I'm not even sure. So I go for a light ending combo, which I didn't have to do, and then I do one for the slow. Aptitude from the relic gave me the last judgment, and yeah, I'm not a great CGR player when it comes to like these really complicated things where I have to play with inverted controls and do my combos weird. It's like I'm just forgetting like all of the judgments I'm actually inflicting. But here I read what the next challenge of the fight is, and basically you have to trigger all 4 of the Wushu strikes, or else you're just gonna take a bunch of damage, and that's like or not take a bunch of damage, that's the only way you can ready them, which then you will take a bunch of damage eventually, right? Because you have to have them readied so you can keep triggering them. And then normally that'd be an issue because obviously you're gonna get stunned if you're forced to drop the one that's gonna inflict a stun. However, if you make it the last of the 4, then the node is going to purify the stun for you, since that would obviously be unfair if you were forced to trigger that one and you just weren't gonna be able to get rid of the stun, right? So I'm gonna die here because I don't even know how I died. I just kind of died, and then I don't even show the rest of the fight. I think I just like stopped recording because I didn't want to, because I knew I was gonna die a bunch of that fight. I did die a bunch of that fight. I used a bunch of revives probably, but we move on to this Squirrel Girl next. And we're actually going to be doing a 6 aptitude cycle with CGR for this one, which is pretty cool. Not a lot of places where the 6 aptitude cycle I find is useful, but it is a fun cycle to use when you get the chance, and here is my chance, right? So what I need to do is get the opponent in the corner, start power, not that. Okay, so I know I do it better later. That's not how you do it. I also triggered Dex there, that's pretty great. I'm screwing this up so much. So I reset my judgments with the SP1, and I'm gonna eventually get the 6 aptitude cycle right, because I know I do it correct later. But as you can see, the damage coming from CGR right now is insane. She does purify the armor breaks, which sucks, but we do get some more back after the damnation. And at this point, the only thing you need to do in the Squirrel Girl fight is just remove the squirrel from you by knocking her down when it does get on you every 18 seconds or so. And you can't use a heavy attack into a stun because she gets a 2-second unstoppable passive if you heavy attack into the stun. So don't ever do that, and then you're probably chilling. Drop an SP1 here. I'm trying to reset judgments again. Or am I going for the 6 aptitude? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. What the heck was that? Okay, well, we're dropping SP3. I can't wait to show you guys when I actually get it right. Because it was pretty cool when you do get the 6 aptitudes. Maybe it wasn't in this fight, or maybe it's on a revive or something. And then here, like, I'm going to be rooted during special attacks a bunch, and I would eventually just die. Yeah, I eat this SP1 right there, and now I'm inverted. And I lost a bunch of health there, and I don't exactly know how. So yeah, I don't know exactly how Squirrel Girl's kit works, if I'm being entirely honest with you, but oh wait, I have 5 aptitudes there, except I didn't show how I got them. Okay, we're gonna see that in the Sunspot fight. If you want to see the 6 aptitude cycle, I know I show it in the Sunspot fight. So you can skip there and see it. It's a pretty fun cycle if you can get it correct. But now we're just doing 93k light attacks. Yeah, the damage is really, really good at this point. She's at 37%. I'm dropping another SP2 here. Look at those crits, dude. That Fury from the node is, or not the node, but from CGR's SP3 is just so good when you can stack up those aptitudes. And we don't even have any armor breaks now, and we're doing 30k mediums. Pretty crazy stuff. So here I'm gonna drop the not the SP2. She's gonna drop her SP2, and I'm gonna heavy attack. And then I have a power gain now. I'm gonna just gonna go for another SP3 real quick after I do the vigilance. I'm gonna bait a special attack from her, and here I believe I throw it. No, oh, I was spamming dash back, and then inverted controls came in, and then I dashed in, which, you know, I wanted to spam dash back, but here, look, we did it. She's stuck in the corner, and we have the damnation going, and I dropped the SP3 with 4 aptitudes, so not all of them, but still a good amount. And here I'm going to go for a power gain. I want Squirrel Girl to throw her SP2 right there, and then I'm going to dash in, drop my SP2, And look at those numbers, dude. They're insane. And then like a couple hits later, it's just gonna kill her, right? So I could have dexed there if I wanted to. I don't know why I dashed back. And then, yeah, this SB1 finishes the job. So CGR is honestly really good for these fights. If you don't mind using a couple of revives if stuff goes wrong. He just kills everything so fast. It's like one of the best things about CGR for this challenge is that you don't have to spend too much time on the challenge if you can find a way to get that 6 aptitude cycle going. So yeah, now we're gonna fight Silver Centurion with Future Ant-Man. This guy sucks. It's an annoying fight. With Future Ant-Man, it's less annoying, for sure. If you don't know, what happens is that if he is locked on, then his specials just don't cost power. And yeah, we're gonna die here. I'm gonna show you the run where it actually went how it's supposed to, and I'm just gonna show you like how I died instead. So here is how I died in that run, and then I revive with and try CGR. It's not worth it to use CGR. Don't actually use CGR. This was not worth it at all. And then the next clip is when I get a really nice Future Ant-Man run, and now I'm going to break down how to use Future Ant-Man right here. So Silver Centurion's at like 37% now, and this is when I like actually understood how to take the fight. I cut away a lot of the fight because a lot of it was just me trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing, but in this clip I'm actually going to do it really well. So this is what I wanted to show you more than like just a bunch of me dying, so you can learn from it. So anyway, we want to get Surging Swarm up, obviously. That's super important with Future Ant-Man. And now we're just going to anti-beta special attacks a lot. And then we want to drop in SP1 whenever we need to power drain him. And we need to remember, of course, that there are 2 ways that Future Ant-Man is going to power drain the opponent. 1 is with the SP1, and 2 is when a power detonation triggers. So that little red thing, whenever it triggers, then we're going to power drain him, and whenever we throw the SP1, we're going to power drain him based off of how many disintegrations are active on the opponent. So basically, you just want to try to not let him throw special attacks the whole fight. And when you get the opportunity to throw an SP2 with the red power detonation, then you're absolutely gaming, because it does a bunch of damage, of course. But you do need to be careful about keeping him under control power-wise very often. So we are going to be throwing a lot more SP1s than you would be using for like Future Man in like a BG's fight or something, because obviously we can't let Silver Centurion drop an SP3 or we just instantly die. So anyway, Silver Centurion is just very well controlled just by the insane power control that Future Ant-Man has. Go for a power drain there, more power drain. Like, the power drain is just so potent so that you can fit those SP2s in, which do like 3 or 4% every time, so pretty awesome. And then here, we're in like the phase of the fight now where he's going to root me during specials. That's fine, because we just don't plan on letting him throw some specials. I think he does throw a couple later in this fight, just because he sucks and wants to throw them into my block, like right there actually. I wasn't expecting that to be like right at that moment, but we have to deal with inverted controls. That's okay, because we had the special 1 ready to combo into it, so he couldn't throw a special while I was inverted and stuff. Threw the SP2 with only 1 detonation, that's okay, or disintegration, I mean. And yeah, the power drain just keeps on rolling. Basically, just use your better judgment to determine when you need to power drain the opponent. If you need to prevent them from going red, just drop the SP1. Or if you have the power detonation about to trigger and you know that, then maybe you don't need to drop an SP1. You can just power drain him that way, right? So, anyway. Also, one more thing I'm going to mention about Future Ant-Man, because not everyone knows this. You can cancel your special 2 by using your 4th light attack. So that's how I'm throwing a special 1 at 2 bars of power. And it's the same thing where if you want to drop an SP2 and you're at 3 bars of power, you can do the 4th light attack, and that's going to cancel a bar and let you drop that SP2 instead of an SP3. So just pro tip with Future Ant-Man, because I've seen a lot of people who don't understand that. And yeah, that is Silver Centurion down. We did 37% that run, And that just means that with about 2 revives, that's about what you can expect for future Ant-Man, with a bit of boosting active for that Silver Centurion fight, and if you know exactly what you're doing, which I didn't know exactly what I was doing when I started doing it the run, but hopefully this video helps get you ready to know exactly how to do it. So now we're fighting Spider-Man 2099. This fight also sucks. I still hate Shang-Chi more than this one on this run, but this is not a fun fight either. However, there is like a cheesy way you can do it, which we're going to get to later. Here, I'm just trying it with future Ant-Man at first, just to try to power control him a lot. It's not going to go very well. Like, he still just has so much resistances and so much chip damage that you're receiving by blocking. And future Ant-Man, if you don't know, likes to block a lot, so that complicates things. But anyway, he's going to gain a power gain. That's one of the big things that Spider-Man does. The way you get rid of the power gain is by blocking, so another annoying thing because you're trying to block. And then you're also going to get a wither placed on you. You remove the wither by dexing, however, it's just going to come back after 6 seconds if it goes away. And also, he's going to be placing a wither by his SP2 as well. So, what the wither is going to do is, it means that he can rupture you through the block, and then the ruptures are just going to do a bunch of detonation damage when you cross a bar of power. So that's really, really frustrating. It's kind of unavoidable damage. It's really frustrating, a portion of this fight, but it is what it is. This fight sucks for, like, every run. Yeah, you just kind of have to deal with it. However, future Ant-Man, his power control is still pretty good. A lot of his red numbers, well, all of his red numbers are unaffected by not future Ant-Man, Spider-Man 2099's resistance up. So, there is that. Dropping an SP1 here. But I believe that once I die, I'm going to show you a better way to take this fight, which is not with future Ant-Man. It's actually with America Chavez. So once I die with Fant here, we're going to cut to that clip, which is pretty interesting because it's kind of cheesy, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So I'm just kind of trying to manage his bars of power and try to do damage at the same time, which, while it was pretty easy to do that kind of thing with Silver Centurion, because we're allowed to block a lot, it's a lot more difficult versus Spider-Man 2099, because it's just get ruptured through the block, and it sucks. So, yeah, it's just a really annoying power control that's not easy to manage. Drop the SP2 here, which is going to bring him from 84% down to 81%, so it's okay damage, right? Future Ant-Man is kind of a short fight damage dealer, or meant to be a short fight damage dealer. Kind of like Shothra, except he handles these longer fights a little bit better, especially with how potent his power control is. He's just kind of crucial for a lot of stuff this run. Here, I'm waiting to get these ruptures off of me, and I don't know why it was paused. I honestly don't even remember why it was paused. But now we're doing this with Chavez. Basically, what you want to do with Chavez is get them in the corner, and you want to stack up your negative zones a bunch, because the power gain from the node is there, and you can just start reversing that, right? So, what we want to do is let him stack up a bunch of power gains, keep him in the corner, and then, eventually, he's just going to be power draining himself the whole fight, and he can't throw a special attack. Now, obviously, we're going to have to wait for him to get a decent bit of power gain active first, which is annoying because sometimes we want to block. But once you get him in the corner and you have a decent enough amounts of power gain and negative zones to reverse him like crazy, then you're going to be having a really fun time with this fight. And you're going to see that pretty soon. I have 2 negative zones. He has 4 power gains. And now we're just spamming heavies, right? So there's like nothing he can do. We drop an SP3 here just to get some extra dimensions. And then I'm going to mess up. It's a weird how I messed up, but after my SP3 here, I pressed a light attack, but it didn't register, so I just can't do anything and I die. Like, I was trying to light attack after my SP3, but like, I just couldn't do anything for some reason. So Here, we're gonna try the whole cycle again. He's down to 20% now. I think I tried like doing it a bunch with Future Ant-Man, just realized it's not even worth it. Let's just use Chavez. She can cheese this. And then with Chavez, you're doing about 20-25% every run. If your Chavez is rank 3 and slightly boosted like mine is. If you have Chavez at all, rank 3 her. Like, she is the best Mystic 7-star, in my opinion. Totally worth it. And she's just good in every single game mode in the entire game. Like, no joke, there is not a single game mode where America Chavez is bad for. Incursions is maybe like the only one where I can think of her being like slightly worse for than like some other Mystics. Chavez is stupid. The best Mystic in the game, I think, because there's not a single game mode that she's bad for. So, get a nice intercept right there, and now he's just locked in the corner, right? So, what I'm actually going to do is drop an SP3, and then we're going to get some dimensions, and then after the SP3, I'm going to do something different, which I'm going to show you. So what we want to do is get to 3 bars, and instead of doing the whole risky thing where I like light attack after my SP3, what we're going to do is chain our relic after our heavy attack, and then we have this striker opening, and while that striker opening is on, we want to throw the SP3 so that he's basically stunned after the SP3 and we can go straight in. I wish I was doing that earlier in the run because that would make it a lot easier. So you can see I mediumed there into the SP3, and the striker opening is still there, so we can just keep repeating, right? And now I put the fight up at 20x speed because it's literally the same thing the rest of the fight. And that's all you got to do for the Spidey. If you just want to spam revives, get him down like the easy way by just doing a bunch of Chavez attempts, just power reversing him and stuff. It takes a while, but it's worth it, right? Because you do like 25% each run, and it's not like the most difficult thing. Once you get them in the corner and start doing it the proper way, then you're kind of chilling. So here, I'm fighting Sunspot next. This fight can be taken by pretty much anyone. Basically, Sunspot's going to eventually start placing Power Stings and Nova Flames on you, which you don't want to drop the special attack during the Power Sting, of course, and then the Nova Flames reduce your block proficiency, so they hurt, you get hurt through the block a lot. But there is my 6 aptitude cycle. What you want to do is trigger Vigilance, trigger Dex, drop an SP1, and then all you have to do after you do those 4 judgments is throw a power gain and make sure that the power gain is not going to push them to a bar. And then you can start spamming heavies, you get a bunch of aptitudes, you drop the SP3, and you just do an absurd amount of damage after the SP3, because that Fury is 250% more potent based on the aptitudes. So, like, just look at this stupid crap we're doing with CGR. It's truly insane. This champion is dumb, right? And then here, I'm gonna waste it and drop an SP3 with 13 power stings on me, because I am like brain dead at this point in the run. And then after the SP3, I'm like, oh, I had 13 power stings on me. Why'd I do that? So we revive, go back in, do the whole cycle again, and I'm taking a bunch of damage to the block because Sunspot really hates your block, man. He hits so hard through that, but it's okay. And then I just block the SP2 and it just destroys me through the block. So, anyway, now on the 3rd attempt, we do the 6 aptitude cycle again. And then I'm pretty sure this run actually goes pretty well. I almost thought I dexed there. I didn't. That's good. Because, you know, dexing with CGR is pretty bad. You don't want to do it. Trigger the relic, which is going to trigger my aptitude, so my power gain is better. Drop the SP2 here with 250% more potent Fury, 600% more potent, or not 600%, 250% and change more potent Precision and Cruelty, and just the Sunspot is down to 37% now. I can't drop specials because I have Power Stings on me. That's fine. I'm just going to go for another SP3 soon. The only annoying thing about the SP3 at this point is that I'm not going to have a bunch of aptitudes. That's okay, though. I don't know what the heck happened there. That's okay. I triggered the armor up on accident, but then I trigger my aptitude, then I drop the SP3, I get another Fury, and the Fury has an extra amount of duration active because I threw it during the Damnation. So gonna go for another SP2 here. He goes from 30% down to 27. We're gonna get a bunch of power stings on us, of course, but that's okay because our basic attacks are just still hitting absurdly hard. Like 65k medium there, and this Sunspot's just melting. That's just kind of how you do this fight with CGR. After you do that initial 6 aptitude, at that point you just want to go for SP3 and SP2. Don't worry about getting 6 aptitude back. It's just going to be way too difficult with the power stings constantly around. So instead, just do a normal Fury because it's still like super potent anyway, right? You're still going to do a crap ton of damage. So he drops his SP1, I drop my SP3. We get a very big and long Fury, and the Damnation is active. That's okay. I'm going to go for a power gain here into a special 2 after my Vigilance. Precision, cruelty, all the fun things. The SP2 does absurd damage. Heavy attack there to trigger my last judgment. Get a nice intercept there. And then after his special, we are actually in the phase with the roots now. The root isn't that hard against Sunspot. If he drops the special attack and you're like a decent distance from him, then you're not going to get like his 2 punches, which might be a little bit difficult to dex at once. His SP1 you can obviously dex easily while rooted, so yeah, that's not too big a deal. I threw an SP1 with a power sting on me because I'm bad. That's okay. He's at 7% now, and I believe I'm going to die here due to something. Oh yeah, I don't even know what that was. I revive. You just finished the fight with Chavez. She just, does a bunch of damage and kills him, so. Anyway, combo into a relic right there, and then my next combo, not next combo, because I forgot I was inverted. Well, still next combo. He goes down. That's my Dimensional Beings challenge. I hope this challenge helped you out a bit. It's probably the hardest one if you ask me, unless you're like doing the 10-year without a Wong. If you don't have a Wong, then that one just really sucks, right? So my reward from this was really cool, actually. We're gonna get Professor X, and I never got this guy from Omega Days, and I believe this was like the same exact day he entered the base pool. So that's awesome, man. I love Professor X. I'm probably ranking him eventually, and just getting him like the first day he enters the base pool is just crazy. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, hope it helped you out, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your runs.